Vale, damage control. Fua. Fua. Vamos a poner subtítulos. Están todos los subtítulos, traducción al español. Señores, 14 minutos, agárrense las pelotas, que viene. Tengo una de content que subir a YouTube. Porque esta reacción la vamos a subir. Vamos a subir los clips que he ido sacando del Minecraft hoy. Fua. ¿Se te repite dar miedo? Sí, sí, sí. Sí, sí, sí. ¿Me voy a comer una idea de mientras? No, no, no. Vale, así está alto. Suficientemente alto para que dé susto. Vale, si escucháis, lo que ha dicho ahora es I have a gunpoint at a hostile object. O sea, que tiene un objetivo con una arma, que es... Yo creo que esto viene del final del otro, ¿eh? O final, o que estén escuchando la grabación de... Mira, ¿ves? Vale. Es justo. Sí, es justo después del otro. Es que es returbio. Es returbio. Tío, yo no tendría los cojones de ponerme a estudiar esto, lo siento mucho. Es que no. O sea, no. ¿Cómo corre el buen puta? ¿Lo has visto cómo corre? ¿Cómo corre? Míralo. ¡Pa, pa, pa! ¿A todos los va a matar o qué? Sigue con la pistola, sí. Porque está apuntando a la gente. Mira cómo corre el buen puta. O sea, que al final ha aparecido el tío después de tantos meses, ¿sabes? Avísame. 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 Ya está. Así puedo cortar en el frame exacto, ¿sabes? Es que nunca me acuerdo de poner los anuncios manualmente yo cuando toca, ¿sabes? Y eso es un problema. ¡Mira cómo corre! ¡Mira cómo corre! Dios, pero corre un cojón, ¿no? Vale, ahora se ve que ha salido y se ha metido dentro de la oficina, ¿no? Esto no son las backrooms ya. Esto es la oficina como tal. Ah, no, siguen siendo las backrooms. ¿Son las backrooms o son la oficina? Mira cómo corre, me encanta, tío. Me encanta. Me encanta. Eran las backrooms, les están cerrando. Les han cerrado dentro de las backrooms.
I'd like to thank you all once again for your patience on this. It has been a stressful 15 hours for all of us here, and while he cannot currently be with us, Dr. Beck sends his apologies regarding the numerous inconveniences caused by our decision to keep you here overnight. Now, it appears that the situation has reached a point of some stability. We're still looking into a few things, but I feel that we can now properly address what occurred without running into speculation.
¿Seguro que era dentro o se ha metido el dentro?
Should not have happened. Not here, not with us. What occurred was a gross misunderstanding that was the result of some severe information mismanagement. Even now, I believe most of you still have an incomplete idea of what took place last night. Before I fill you in, I need to address the fact that there has been information deliberately withheld from many of you on the project. Now, these choices were not made lightly.
Están revelando mucho, ¿eh?
However, I want to make it abundantly clear that following the events of last night, it has been proven to us that...
Yo creo que eso no eran las backrooms, yo creo que él se ha vuelto a encerrar en las backrooms, ¿no? Porque había mucho cristal y mucha cosa muy oficina.
Begin delivering the authentic order of events as we understand them.
Claro que las cámaras eran de muy mala calidad.
On the
En
morning
plan,
of March 1st, a team of 4 researchers was sent into the complex to conduct a routine layout analysis. George Levy, Marvin Lee, Ronald McCarthy, and Peter Tench.
¿vale? Nos explican el texto de
12:45
antes.
p.m., the group realized that they had lost track of Tench while traversing the previously accessed branch of hallways. As you'll recall, this prompted an immediate withdrawal of response back to standard, followed by several days of significant search efforts. However, those ultimately yielded nothing, and as far as any of us were concerned, Tench had simply vanished, leaving no physical trace. Now, for obvious reasons, that wasn't something that we could disclose to the public, so roughly 2 weeks following his disappearance, our security team was forced to put together a more acceptable cause of death that would keep attention away from this institute and provide closure to the family. So that is all close to common knowledge, I presume. Not all of you were with us at the time of the incident. However, you're certainly aware of the effects it has had on our internal procedures over the past few months. Regardless, that was where Tench's involvement in this came to an end.
Ya, yo echaba falta un poco de politiqueo, en estos vídeos.
Because on May 8th, at approximately 5:30 p.m., a motion alert was sent out from the complex, which
Es
was
verdad.
closed off at the time.
¿Os
One of our senior
acordáis?
engineers was sent down to assess the situation and discovered
¿Os acordáis que un vídeo terminaba con la sala en rojo, en plan, aquí hay movimiento y no se veía nada? ¡Qué cabrones! ¿Cómo lo tenían escondido,
now trusted hazard gear, who we were able to identify as
Es verdad, ¿te
Peter
acuerdas de
Tench.
esto? ¿Qué dices? ¿Qué
Immediately
pasa?
Following this discovery, Tench was moved to a secure room on this floor, where over the following days, a select group of doctors were able to administer a panel of tests in order to determine what had happened to Peter in the 2 months he had been gone. Those
2
tests
meses.
yielded very little useful
2
information.
meses, tío, se fue.
By all measures, Peter appeared to be in excellent health. However, we were still provided one very useful tool in understanding
sea,
how
2
the
meses no tenía ni hambre ni sed ni
unfolded from
nada.
his perspective. Some of you may recall that on the day of his disappearance, Tench was his team's designated camera operator. Well, when we recovered him, he still had that camera in his possession, and in fact had documented the entire ordeal. The footage will be presented in its entirety later today. However, for the purpose of this discussion, I will only be highlighting key events.
Que vamos a ver la footage. Tú. Se viene, se viene, se viene, se viene.
They're not in view, but you can hear the others walking behind him. Now, as he approaches the branch on the right here, pay close attention to the audio.
Guys, can you hear this?
Claro, esto ya lo visteis. Sí, sí.
Guys, can you hear this? Hey!
Esto lo vimos, claro, te está diciendo después de
I'd like
esto.
to save the discussion for afterwards, but what you just saw is what we believe to be the moment that Peter was instantaneously transported 2 months forward in time.
Se transportó en el tiempo, tío.
Following that abrupt flash you just saw, Tench proceeds back out into the hallway in search of his team, but it is without any indication of their presence. The next 30 or so minutes of the tape follow a fairly panicked Tench as he attempts to navigate his way back to the threshold. He does obviously find his way back. However, the threshold appears not as he knows it,
Ha cambiado
but
mucho
as
en 2
it appeared
meses.
on the date of May 8th. And this ties us back to the moment when we recovered him. So, to summarize, from his point of view, he had only been inside the complex for several hours. So to him, all of the new developments surrounding the threshold were completely foreign. Luckily, though, as I already mentioned, there were people available to manage the situation as it unfolded. And over the course of the following days, we were able to properly sit down with Peter and work with him to gain a collective understanding of what had happened.
Una cosa, a mí me teletransportan 2 meses en el futuro. O sea, ya no te digo que pleo y entro en las backrooms, vale. Pero a mí me teletransportan en ese sitio 2 meses al futuro y yo ahí no vuelvo a entrar, loco. Imagínate que después de 2 meses es 1 año. ¿Qué cojones? Yo ahí no entro, ¿sabes? Ah, ¿que no? Lo pongo con un palo desde fuera en todo caso, o ni con el palo. Envío a un robot y que lo ponga el robot. Al igual entro yo a poner mierdas. ¿Están tontos? ¿Están tontos? Es verdad. Es verdad. ¡Claro! ¿Y si te mueres?
Unfortunately, though, that process ended up taking quite a bit longer than we had anticipated. And all the while, Peter was sucked out here, waiting.
Eso es lo que no nos contaron, que está atrapado aquí.
We did our best to keep him engaged, but it is hard to combat the effects of prolonged sensory deprivation on the human brain. And as a result, Peter's mental state took a toll. Not to a degree that was outright concerning at first, but around the end of week 2, we noticed that he was starting to exhibit a number of behaviors common in patients diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
Yo creo que es full politiqueo esta
Though we don't have
mierda.
reason to believe that Mr. Tench was afflicted with that condition.
Yo creo que esto es full politiqueo,
Whatever the case, while he didn't express it outright, from what we could gather, he appeared
full
to
politiqueo,
have
tío.
deluded himself into believing that he was still inside some sort of illusion created by the complex, and that we were secretly looking to do him harm. This all came to a head on the night of the 22nd, when, while Tench was finally about to be transferred to a temporary above-ground residence, he broke away from us and, using stolen credentials, forced his way back into the complex, where he would go undiscovered until just last night, when he ambushed and violently attacked Team B in room 14C, leaving Dr. Bloom in critical condition.
Vale, que no lo ha matado, uf.
We can presume that during the Jerusalem days Tench spent in the complex, he let go of the idea that he could somehow escape through an alternate threshold, but still held on to the belief that all of us here were working to trap him in some way, despite our actions saying exactly the opposite.
No, quita, no, gracias. Yo creo que no voy a jugar. Algún día.
Single shot from the Remington 870 to Dr. Bloom's side. Tench fled the scene and headed to the threshold outpost, where he would turn the weapon on several more of you,
Mira,
all
esto lo hemos
progressing
visto al
to
principio.
standard, and through the lower offices.
O sea que
Given
sí
the
los han
abrupt and
cerrado.
chaotic nature of the unfolding situation, it took our
Chao, Rivas, vaya bien. Un gusto, un gusto. Hasta mañana. Mañana por la tarde de noche, acordaros, mañana es viernes. Ya pasamos a horario de tarde-noches. Martes, jueves, miércoles de mañanas. Viernes, sábado, domingo de tarde-noches.
security team, several women's lawyers,
Son minisets,
ideally should have to figure out what was happening.
Estos son
But
minisets.
thankfully, while Tench was passing through one of the empty labs next to
O
storage,
vía AI,
Dr.
no te
Maxwell
pienses a tú que...
was able to act quickly and managed to disarm him, accidentally discharging the weapon into the ceiling in the process.
Vale.
However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension, fleeing
Mira,
into
esto.
the maintenance wing and evading our security
Vale,
staff
o sea
by
que los
taking
han
the freight
cerrado dentro de las
elevator into
backrooms, tío.
service.
Ah, no, tomar el
Now,
montacargas,
this
vale.
situation could have played out very badly,
Vale, vale, toma el
given the
montacargas.
potential number of witnesses around the building at the time. But luckily for everyone involved, as far as we can tell, Tench was not noticed as he exited the property. Around 5 minutes later, our security team made it to the ground floor and began a thorough sweep in the direction of the hillside where cameras had last observed Tench. Now, there's no easy way to say this other than to just say it. I am terribly sorry to inform you all, but Mr. Tench was found deceased halfway down the hillside. The result of an extreme blow to the head. It appears that while he was running through some brush, he failed to anticipate a sudden dip in the ground and tragically fell forward into a large rock. Given the circumstances, it was not something any of us could have anticipated or prevented.
Lo mataron
The
ellos, ¿sí?
tragedy of the entire situation
Lo mataron,
undoubtedly
tío.
remains. But Dr. Tench, regardless of how troubled he was in his final days, was a brilliant man who gave his all to
¡Buah!
this
La
project.
encubierta de la
He
encubierta,
would
chaval.
certainly not want us hindering it in his
La
aim.
encubierta de la
What
encubierta.
we're doing here is so much bigger than any one person.
¿Y cómo?
It
¿Y
is the
cómo?
work of a unified effort, and we need to ensure that that is never lost sight of.
¡Wow!
That we hold on to the pre-established notion that Peter is and has been deceased. That is done, and there is nothing more to be extracted.
¡Qué puto susto, hostias! ¿Nunca se busca a alguien que ya está muerto? Total. Un momento, porque esto te dice que no está muerto. Espérate.
There's nothing more to be
Vaya, puedes follow Ashley. Espérate, ¿eh? Esto hay que verlo en cámara. Velocidad minísima, tú. Hostia, tú. ¡Qué raro! ¡Qué raro! ¡Qué raro! ¡Qué raro! ¡Qué raro! Supongo que alguien ha... Ahora miramos los comentarios. Seguro que alguien ha dicho algo. A que este esté. Mírale. Este será Tench, verás. O sea, para mí que el tío sigue vivo. Y han dicho que está muerto para que, ¿sabes? O se lo han cargado. Porque esas imágenes... ¿Qué podían ser esas imágenes, tío? A ver... ¿Qué es for ideas for making Oscar worth it? Ya ves. Ya ves. A ver. Oh, es verdad, es verdad. El vídeo... Ah, ese es la playlist de donde están todos. Esta es la playlist de donde están todos. ¿Ves? Te los pone por orden. Te los pone por orden de esto. Hey, Adrián, please. ¿Sabes? En plan, hace un año, hace 11 meses, hace 10, hace 9. Este no sé por qué está primero. El de Overflow, pero bueno. Hace meses, claro, te los pone por orden, por lo que entiendo.